من أقصى المدينة. When the word أقصى, Allah could have said وجاء رجل يسعى. A man came to warn his people. But Allah said من أقصى المدينة. What does it mean? In other words, it gives you the impression that this man came from far away. In other words, he has taken all this hardship to do, he's making that effort, this revelation of the Quran. He is doing that effort, going from Aqsa al-Madinah, from far, to go what? To his people, to warn them, to tell them, Ya qawm ittabi'u al-mursalin, follow the messengers. He cares. He has received the message, but we receive the message, but we hide it. It's almost like we don't care. But they care. And when you care, you have to make that effort. It has to show those revelations or those ayat that you recite. It has to be palpable, like you said. It has to. I have to feel it. I have to see it. So he came, and when Allah said, "Min aqsa al-madinati," from far. So to do what? Just to warn his people. They didn't follow him. They didn't obey him. And what? Guess what? قِيلَ ادْخُلِ الْجَنَّةِ. He died. Allah said, قِيلَ, go to heaven. So what he did? SubhanAllah. Even when he was going to heaven. And that's why Abdullah ibn Abbas, he said, نَصَحَ قَوْمَهُ. He has given advices to his people while he was alive and even when he was dead. When he was entering to heaven, was يَا لَيْتَ قَوْمِي يَعْلَمُونَ. I wish my people, they know what Allah has given me. So he was going to heaven and he still worries about his own people which have rejected his message. So that's when that was one of the reasons I wanted to start this with you. I have, like I said, the spice up to see when we learn the Sahabah's life. It has to give us this image, this window, that how do they have reacted with those verses. How it has made changes. What made Abu Bakr sacrifice his wealth? What makes Abu Bakr, he has to, face all this hardship? What makes Khadija with all her wealth why? Because almost like this man who came to Aqsa al-Medina, he has received the message and he has taken the effort and the challenge and to do that. And that's why the Prophet ﷺ, he said, the hadith Abu Musa al-Ash'ari radiyallahu anhu, he said, على كل مسلم صدقة. Every Muslim has to give sadaqah. Abu Musa said, how about رأيت إن لم يستطع? How about if he doesn't have? He said, the Prophet, يعمل بيديه فينفع نفسه ويتصدق. He works with his hand, so he benefit himself and he donate. And then Abu Musa said, how about if he can't? رأيت إن لم يستطع. يعين الحاجة الملهوف. So whoever needs help, he goes help him. So remember the first thing is what? على كل مسلم صدقة. Every single Muslim has to give sadaqah. So look how the category is going. You go, do some work, and then you help yourself. That's sadaqah for yourself as well and your family, and then you give the charity to others. Mm-hmm. You can. So how about he can? He said, whoever needs help, you helping a handicap, you helping someone to put his stuff in his car, that's sadaqah. He said, how about if he can't? He said, يَأْمُرْ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ أَوْ الْخَيْرِ. He does good things, try to do good things, help others with good things. And then Abu Musa said, أَرَأَيْتَ إِن لَمْ يَفْعَلْ. How about if he doesn't do that? The last one is, he said, يُمْسِكْ عَنِ الشَّرِّ فَإِنَّهَا صَدَقَةٌ. He should abstain from doing harm to others. In other words, you cannot be an idol. You cannot just, you are, those tiny things that we overlook, we don't pay attention to it because we always expect that we have to do grandiose things, then okay. But those things, see how the categories. In other words, you have thousands of doors open for you to make sadaqah to get reward to hasan. And that's how, as I said in the beginning, when the Sahaba, they recite those ayat, this is how you can see the changes it has made, transformed in their lives. Look at the لَن تَنَالُوا الْبِرَّ حَتَّى تُنْفِقُوا مِمَّا تُحِبُّونَ. You will not receive the bir, meaning that the reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to heaven, until you give of that you love, you prefer. You don't give something that you throw away. The thing that you love. Abu Talha, he was one of the Sahabi in Medina. He has his garden, and when this ayah he has received, he has heard, he went and he said, oh, the Prophet of Allah, he has so many gardens. He used to be one of the wealthiest. He said, this is my best farm of the tree, the palm tree, and I want to donate it because of this ayah. So the Prophet, he said, it's almost like you have, when you do the trade, he's a tradesman, so you have made it in the trade. Rabih al-Bay' or something like that. Allah has, but give it to your family. So he donated to his family members. Now, I recited several times, you recited several times. Did it have that impact? Like I said, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Did it have that, did it have that transformation in my character? And that's how we, when their recitation of the Quran and our recitation of the Quran is completely different. Our recitation is for the blessings, their recitation is for the actions. Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, he said, he had this beautiful saying that the Quran has been revealed for actions. واتخذوا, he said, لقد أنزل القرآن ليعمل به. The Quran has been revealed so he can. واتخذوا دراسته, meaning that when we study the Quran, mean how to مخارج الحروف, how you recite, beautiful, which is, it is a must. You have to learn how to recite the Quran. I'm not saying that, but look at Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, he was trying to for us to pay attention to something that we overlook. We don't pay attention to it. That's not what the purpose of the Quran was revealed. That's what he's trying to say. He said, you have taken learning how to recite the Bible as amal, as an action. So, in other words, I take learning the Quran is almost like I'm taking as an action. And he said, وَإِنَّ أَحَدُهُمْ, some of you will recite the Quran from Fatiha all the way to the end. And he does not miss one single word, meaning he recited so beautifully. وَلَقَدْ أَسْقَطَ مِنْهُ الْعَمَلِ, and he has dropped all the words. Meaning, in other words, he didn't drop, he didn't miss one single word because of his beautiful recitation, or he knows how to recite it, but he has missed anything to do with the action of the Quran. And that's how we have to, for us, and as I said, I keep emphasizing on this, when we are learning the Seerah of the Prophet's companion, it's almost like we're learning tafsir. We have to see how they have interact with those ayat. And I said, we had it last Sunday, that it's they have, as we said, step up to the plate. The challenge was there, so they took that challenge, and they have excelled. We claim, but unfortunately sometimes we fall short. And you can see the difference between Sahabah Rasulullah and us as well, because of this verse has been revealed to us, and the people before us, like Banu Israel. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, كُنْتُمْ خَيْرَ أُمَّةٍ أُخْرِجَتْ لِلنَّاسِ. I think Surah Al-Imran said, you are the best ummah. All of us maybe memorize this ayah, that you are the best ummah being, came up for humanity because you are ma'ruf, you do ma'ruf and nahi munkar. For Banu Israel, Allah said it differently. وقال رجلان يخافون أنعم الله عليهم ادخلوا عليهم الباب. Two men from Banu Israel, when Moses is trying to fight, and they said, we're not going to go, you and your Lord fight. So two of his said, well, if we go, udkhulu. As I go back to the Arabic language, dakhala and kharaja is two different things. It's an action. It gives meaning, but as like I said in the beginning, you paint the tree in a desert and a tree in a garden. It's a different picture, different view. When you go dakhala, in other words, you are going to a confined space. When we have someone now, he enters, he is going to be facing it. In other words, space is limited. While when he is out, it's an unlimited space. It's huge. And look how Allah has it. كنتم خير أمة أخرجت. In other words, we are a universal ummah. We are not confined in space, in a people, in idea. We أخرجت للناس, for the whole mankind. You see how big is the space, and that's why Rubai ibn Amir, when the Prophet sent him, he was a shepherd. He went to the Persian and he said, he was like a Bedouin, and when he went to the Persian, he said, Allah chose us so we can liberate people. It's a universal religion. You go to the space. And that's how, again, when the Sahaba they chose, they left the space of Darul Arqam to go out and interact with the society, to face the society. You cannot live, you cannot live in a ghetto society. You cannot live only by yourself and the rest, who cares? No. You have to go and share and interact with the rest of the society. You face hardship, and that's how they did. They faced that hardship. They have faced it. It's not easy. This is the proof that you are paying for the price of this faith, that you are claiming that, you cannot have it easy. Otherwise, the Prophet should have it easy. Why the Prophet has to suffer? The people that try to kill him. And next time we will go to the Seerah of the Prophet ﷺ with Abu Bakr, when we saw, he was going to that cave, and then they followed him and all those things. So he is a prophet, he has all it, but yet he has gone through the hardship like anybody. So this religion is not an easy religion. It's not something that, you can stay and this and that, and you, mashallah, preach, and then you go home and everything is dandy and everything. No. It has, and this is, like I said, those are the steps you take and go. And imagine, subhanAllah, it's common sense. And that's why when I said, they differ from the levels of heaven. When you live in a building, like one scholar said, you live in a building, if you are in the first floor, you can only see in that first floor the view of the first floor. I live in 12th floor. So we can see part of the lake, we see the building, okay? So we see better than the one who is in the first floor. In other words, if we were in the fourth floor, what we have seen in that first floor, when we move to the second floor, we still see what we see in the first floor, but we add one more thing that we didn't see. We go to the third floor, is the same thing. 12, we have 27 stories building. The one in 27, he sees what I see as a 12th floor, but he sees more, which I can't. And that's إِيَّاكَ نَعْبُدُ وَإِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينُ. That إِيَّاكَ نَعْبُدُ, every time you get close, whatever Allah has opened up your heart for it, this is not something that you learn by the way. This is something Allah says because of your ikhlas, your character. Your ikhlas is your dedication. You have to struggle. Allah will open up something. That iyaka will have an effect on you. It has a character on you. It didn't have it before. The more you go there, it will elevate you to another level. You still have what you have before, but you have more. It will have more effect on you. You will taste it differently than you used to taste it before. And so forth, and so forth, and so forth. It will never end. Until that's why in the heavens, when you go, those are the levels. So in other words, before, I'll give you a small example. You used to have إِيَّاكَ نَعْبُدُ وَإِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينُ. In other words, it wasn't an issue for you, for instance, to drink alcohol. Right? Now, after you start practicing, maybe you are, you cannot, because the society, whatever you live at, and you have friends, or the environment, and your family, especially for the converts and all that. So you have to, because you don't want to claim that you're a Muslim. So now you are practicing. Then you will start feeling that iyaka, you get in another level. You don't want to drink it because you feel so bad now about it. So you almost have one floor up. The third one, you don't even look at it. You don't even see it. So that إِيَّاكَ نَعْبُدُ وَإِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينُ, it has to start make changes, step and step and step. And that's why when we have this hadith, famous hadith, that مَنْ عَادَ لِي وَلِيًّا, whoever is being, I won't say an enemy, but anti-wali, my saint. We don't have sainthood, but because he has reached a level that if he asks Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the Sahabah, most of them, if he asks Allah, whatever he asks Allah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will grant to him. Well, because that level, that steps he's going, the hardship, the thirst. But it's not in the beginning.